Authority to order, and I'd like to thank Geodis Park and Nashville SC for hosting us this morning. We have no public comment today, so we'll move to our next agenda item. We'd like to consider the minutes from the July 17th meeting. You should have received the minutes. Are there any questions or corrections? If not, I will entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Is there a second? Thank you. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposers, nay, and the motion passes, and the minutes are approved. Next, we will hear from our president, and our president's report. Monica? Moving fast.
Oh, good morning.
Yes.
Good morning. I'm on, okay. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. I know we got started a little bit late. We thank you for your patience. You've got the agendas in front of you. They're in your binders. Following my report, we'll have the Finance Committee report. We have the Nissan Stadium monthly update, the Geodis Park Nashville SC report, and then finally we'll hear about plans to transform Bridgestone Arena. So a lot of information coming this morning. Are there any questions about the agenda? It's pretty straightforward. Okay. Just a couple of more things I wanted to draw your attention to. The first board lunch and learn is scheduled for Thursday, October 2nd from noon to 1. You should have received an invitation. Thank you for those of you who have already RSVP'd. East Bank Development Authority CEO Ben York will join us along with Heather Hill, our construction representative. So I think it's going to be a great opportunity to listen, to ask questions, and just to better understand how all of the pieces are working together over across the river. I really hope you can make it. We're looking forward to this one. And then it's been a while since we've talked about this, but probably, I want to say 6 or 9 months ago, we mentioned that there would be some mini audits of the construction of Nissan Stadium. And so the first of these mini audits is underway. The audit focuses on controls to ensure fiscal management and administrative oversight. And so Baker Tilly is the firm that is doing that on behalf of Metro Internal Audit. I mean, there are a lot of people, I think, in the room that we could go ahead and thank because they have been very responsive already in getting documents and working through this piece. But we do expect to receive a draft report probably in November, and then we'll be bringing that to share with the Finance and Audit Review Committee. Are there any questions? That concludes my report.
Thank you, Monica. Next item on the agenda is a report from our Finance Chair, Dan Hogan. Dan?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Finance Committee met this morning. We had a stacked agenda. The first thing that we discussed was the Powers Management Camp Agreement, and Kyle Clayton walked us through that. There is a copy of the camp in your binders. We do think that the board needs to approve the camp, but we will wait until the October meeting to do that. So that was the first item. Second item we considered was an assessment of facility systems for Ford Ice Centers in Antioch and Bellevue. Monica has recommended deferral at this time because that may be changing a bit. And then lastly, we had a discussion about authorizing a resolution for the purchase of portable security bollards for both the benefit of the Sports Authority and the Metro Police Department. Again, it cannot be said enough how much work Director Pulley has put into this security assessment, meeting after meeting with all of the parties involved. And so we have a very good sense that there is something that we can contribute here to move forward with enhanced security measures at some of our facilities. I think we've decided to defer the resolution for a month while we gather a little more information, not the least of which is to begin the discussion with the police department to establish a memorandum of understanding for the dual use of this equipment should we go ahead and purchase it. But again, Russ, thank you so much. It's been an awful lot of work, and we're very grateful to you for having done all that. And that was basically what we covered in the Finance Committee, Madam Chair.
Great, thank you. Any questions or comments for the Finance Committee? If not, as always, we appreciate the work that you do before we get to these meetings. So thank you for that. And I'd like to echo my gratitude and the gratitude of this body for the work that you have done, Director Pulley. We appreciate taking the lead. Thank you very much. Next, we have the Nissan Stadium update, and I think Adolfo Birch, Kellen DeCourcy, and John Gromas are here to speak with us. Reggie Poe, update, new name, different name. Good morning, Reggie. Thank you for being here.
All right, as usual, we would like to thank you for the opportunity to come and give you an update on the continued fabulous progress that's going on at the stadium construction site. As you mentioned, today we have Reggie Pope joining us to give the updates from the construction manager end. But we're going to try to go through fairly quickly today because we have a special guest who we will let come up and give a couple of remarks. It's one of our TC2, recent TC2 graduates, and it's got a phenomenal story, so we don't want to really step on that with a lot of unnecessary comments on our end. So if you are okay with it, we'd like to go through with our sort of usual format, which is to talk a little bit about construction and the actual progress on the construction itself, go into a little of the participation numbers, then move over into some of the safety and workforce information before we get to our special guest. Is that good? With that, I'll turn it over to Kellen to get us rolling on.
Good morning, board members. Kellen DeCourcy with the Titans. We can flip here. It's been a lot of progress made since we last provided an update here. If we'll just click start, we have another fun aerial fly-through video for everyone here to show you the progress. Something we want to highlight, we're looking here at the north sideline, again, the Titans home team sideline. Here you'll start to see the structural steel roof ring beam. It's almost, as you can see, almost forming that perfect circle. You can see we've installed almost half of that circle. That is going to be the support system for the ETFE roof steel. And then we are making a big, heavy push to complete the steel on the east end here. You'll see all of the columns, and then we're making way with the trusses to form the roof. We are still on target for a November topping out of the structural steel, which is a huge milestone. And then also wanted to call attention to the work that you might be seeing that's happening there on the field level. We've actually just recently, TBA has recently poured the slab on grade on the west end of the stadium. That's helping to make way for the Rakers and then the lower bowl stadia. So you'll start to see that the lower bowl is going to be filled in. The cranes are making their way to the east end of the stadium and ultimately will be dismantled and pulled out. So a lot of great coordination work that's happening. The TBA team is managing a lot on site with 1,600 workers on site daily. A testament to that, as you can see, is all of those boom lifts here on the south side of the building. There's a lot of work happening on the exterior of the building. Off to the left-hand side, you'll see kind of some black vertical lines. That's actually the starting work of our exterior video board that will be activated facing our Southwest Plaza, used for movies in the park and watch parties. And also wanted to call attention to an amazing feature of the building that's really coming to life now. You'll see this, the concrete lip there that's in the middle of the building. That is on our terrace level, our upper concourse. That is the extremely large outdoor terrace area that we're very excited to offer outdoor experiences to our fans and the amazing views to downtown. And we are also, as of August, really making some headway on the exterior enclosure of the building. You'll start to see some of the metal cladding that's being installed. It's the black banding that you see there on the edge of the concrete. So we have the metal panels going in, and then we also have the curtain wall glazing system that's also started here on the west end of the building. We are making a heavy push to get enclosed and dried in. And then also you'll see on top of the building here on the roof level, you'll see all of the metal decking that's kind of chasing that ring beam work. Again, the big push is to try to get dried in as quickly as possible. We're also going to see inside the building, which we can share hopefully next month, is some updates on the drywall. Two-sided drywall on our walls to make way for finishes are starting to happen on our field level and our mezzanine level. So a lot of work is happening. Again, great progress in coordination with TBA. And then also wanted to highlight, we've also started and kicked off the Second Street roadway realignment project. That really got started in late July, early August. We are working on the first phase of that, which is the southern leg of the new roadway. And then also the East Bank pump station is remaining on schedule. So I'll pause for any questions. Yeah, just a little bit.
You have a comment, question? I'll just say that I get anxious thinking about how close that is to the old building and bringing it down.
Yes, we're making, we've already have that demo contractor on board and a lot of great coordination to make sure that's done safely and should not have an impact on the new stadium. But it is 95 feet away.
Yeah, it's close, thank you.
And we'll turn it over to Adolfo for our one community.
We do have a question, Director Poole.
As a follow-up to that question that Director Bender asked you, just clarifying, you're not going to implode that, you're going to take it apart. Right?
No, it'll be a mechanical demolition with a large crunching arm on a large excavator.
Thank you.
Great.
All right. We did want to talk a little bit about participation because that is our, I think, one of our key focus areas as part of this project. If you could move to the next slide for me. So you're used to the structure of this chart, but I think, you know, it's been a few months probably, I guess, since we've had an updated report. So we are pleased to say that progress continues. As you can see, we are at a well over 100 million in spend at this point. I would probably focus you a little more on the number of firms. We've had a significant increase in the number of firms that have been able to participate versus our last report. I believe we were at something under 80, maybe closest to 80. So we had a significant jump in the number of firms that were being able to participate, as well as the obviously the spend. We remain assured that we will meet and exceed the goals that we put forward on the project. But this is just the latest iteration of that as the progress continues. Are there any questions about our participation? If not, I will pass it along to Reggie.
I have a quick question. So what is that number like now? The goal, you know, you're managing to go for participation.
Well,
Where are we?
the number we've had is for the overall project is 25%. That remains the goal. We still feel comfortable that we will meet or exceed that goal.
Thanks.
Thank you. And so just to continue with the conversation, so of course, Adolfo was mentioning that we have several firms that are starting to come on board. We have a lot of the structural firms that are going to start to roll off around October and November, and then you're going to see a flooding of interior trade coming in to finishes in on the building. So we're really excited about that. Kellen mentioned we're still tracking the topping out, which is going to be in November. So that's a major milestone that we're all excited about. But of course, we got to keep everybody safe as we're doing this. So that's always a main focus, safety and quality, and making sure that we hit our commitments. Year to date, or I should say August to date, we have 13 recordables. And so we did have one in August. And I'm proud to say that we're still at a 0.97.
Can you adjust the slide, please? Oh, one more, and then we'll come back to that one.
Okay. So I'm proud to say that we're at a 0.97 total recordable incident rate, which is tremendous. We're still have a major focus to get that down to 0.5. And so basically with each month, we're trying to tick that down and keep all the workers safe out there on the job site. So as Kellen mentioned, we have about 1,600 boots on the ground, and that totals about, as of the end of August, 2,670,000 work hours. So really proud about that. But once again, we're really excited about the cohort that we just graduated. So we had 18 graduates. And
Next slide, please.
Sorry. I'm rocking and rolling this morning.
Before you go, we've got one question here on that last slide. I
Yeah,
think.
if you
Can
don't
we go
mind.
back one and then come back?
That
Thank you.
TRIR number, if I recall from when Mr. Gromos was here, is the industry average 1.5? And so you guys are already, it's higher than that.
Depending on the report that you look at, 1.95 to 2. So that just depends on the report and how they're pulling their data.
So you guys are doing a tremendous job
Yes,
thus
sir.
far.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for that.
And our goal, obviously, is to continue to drive that down further.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next slide. Okay, great. So we are tracking the TC2 Workforce Development Program. Really excited with cohort 7 that we were able to graduate 18 of the fellows, and so that's a major accomplishment. And of course, we have a special guest speaker that will speak on that today. But from the stats, what I'm really excited about, we have 15 of the 18 that are currently employed. And so 12 of those are currently working on the stadium, which is tremendous. And then we also have 3 of them that are taking opportunities outside of the project. So that's phenomenal. And then the other 3, what happened to the other 3? They actually had opportunities as well, but the timing just didn't work out for them. But when you look at the effort that we're putting into the class and the opportunity that's coming from that is tremendous. So here in a little bit, you'll get the opportunity to hear from Justin and hear about his experience. Any questions about that?
If you could go back to slide 4 for a second, let me try to address that. So we did want to talk a little bit about the One Community and in particular the John Merritt Classic. As you all may recall, we had a number of aspects to our relationship with Tennessee State that we sought to enhance through this project and in conjunction with our One Community efforts. The latest has been this year's John Merritt Classic, where we were a presenting sponsor. That is a fairly unique arrangement for a professional club to sponsor a football game, more or less an HBCU classic of this nature. I think it's a testament to the depth of our relationship with Tennessee State and how we want to emulate that and enhance it going forward. But this, I think, is the second or third year that we were able to sponsor the Classic. And the part we wanted to highlight in particular was that this year we were able to award 15 students with scholarships. We were able to recognize them during the game on the field with scholarships as part of our effort and our desire to really embed ourselves more with Tennessee State and sort of their educational and academic mission. So thank you. So we hope, I will say, that we continue to strengthen even this portion of our relationship, but it has been very, very helpful and beneficial, not only to us as a club, but to Tennessee State and hopefully to many of you who share our desire to be a part of Tennessee State's mission as well. So if with that, I guess I should bring up Justin Rankin. Justin is a recent TC2 graduate, and I don't want to spoil a lot of his story, so I'll let him tell it. But we'd love to have you listen to him and the words he has to say.
Good morning, everyone. I want to thank God for giving me breath in my body to be able to join you guys this morning. I want to thank everyone that was included in the TC2 program. As a 33-year-old post-Army veteran, in between jobs for a couple years, didn't really know what to do next. It's kind of hard transitioning. I was in logistics, but I didn't want to do logistics anymore, right? Once you did something for so long, and at that level, it's time for something new. So I started working a job, but I actually got fired from my job because I had integrity. They wanted me to do some things that was against the rules, and I just wasn't going to do them. So they had to let me go. And I was working there for a couple years, and I prayed and said, God, I need an opportunity. And I was at my godmom's house, and I just was talking to them about joining an HVAC program. And right when I came in, she says, "Hey, son, I got this flyer for you." And I said, "What flyer is it?" And it was a TC2 program. And it wasn't even 15 seconds that I just came outside and she told me about it. And I read it and I was like, well, this is what I was thinking about getting into anyway. So, it's just divine, that happened. That meeting was divine right there. So joining the program, of course, you have your nerves because you don't know anybody, everything's new, but I enjoyed myself in the TC2 program. It allowed me to interact with other people, learn their stories, and I still hang out with some of the guys from the program. Every Wednesday after work, we still go get a drink. So I'm grateful for that because I gained brothers. We had some women in there. I gained a couple sisters as well. So, it's not just a program where we're just trying to push people to get a job like temp services do. It's a true opportunity to think about doing something long term. So I'm grateful for everyone that was involved in the creation and everyone that is involved in the continuation of the program because I'm big on influence. And I remember a quote, and I was actually one of the speakers at our graduation. And the quote is that when we talk about influence, influence is an ammunition that'll never run out. So TC2 influenced me to continue to be great, as we should all continue to influence each other. So I'm just very grateful for the opportunity. I did have a couple job offers, and I currently work for Harriet. They do the seating and the railings for the Nissan Stadium, and it's just great. I thank God for somebody giving me that opportunity to be able to, get my life back on track the way that I intend and the way that God intended for me. Because if He didn't give me the opportunity, I don't know what I'd be doing. Probably still be in and out of jobs. So the fact that I do have a job and I have a job until 2027, that's something that you can build on. That is something that you can be proud of. I'm working on the new Nissan Stadium. Like, what's not great about that? So when it comes time for when the stadium opens and I go to a game and I look around and I'm like, man, I helped build this. So I just thank everyone that's involved for the opportunity.
So Justin, on behalf of this body, I want to thank you for sharing your story, your journey. I also want to thank you for your service. I think that you've shared some words that really helps us to understand the program and how it actually impacts the lives for not only those who participate, but for the families for years to come. So my congratulations to you and to the Titans for an excellent program. Thank you so much. Any comments from anyone else? It's amazing. Thank you so much for being here. Does that conclude? Clerk?
That does conclude our report unless any of the authority members have questions.
It occurs to me you have 81 graduates of these programs now. How many of them are actually working on the stadium?
Ooh, do we know? I think I don't want to guess, but a good number of them are working on the stadium. An even bigger number are working on projects, whether it's the stadium, but with our partners, things like that. But I would say a large majority of them are working.
76 of them on the 76%.
Oh.
Of the,
Well, but that's, yeah, so 76% are working throughout, but I don't have the number. We'll find the specific number on the stadium.
Tremendous
Sure.
program. Thank you.
Thank you.
I would like to add, I did employ one of the cohorts, and they're doing phenomenal. They just received their first raise, and we're now looking to sponsor some additional further education for that person. So really proud of the work that they're doing, but this young man is doing a phenomenal job, just a second chance in life, and he's earning raises, and he's becoming a leader. So I think the work that we're doing in the program speaks volumes.
All right. Thank you. Yes.
Do you all have the date or timeline for the next cohort?
Yeah, I think the current cohort started on September 15. It's a 6-week program, so you can do the math, but we'll make sure to send you the information when the graduation details are set. If you want to attend, we would be honored to have any of you attend. The cohort members would certainly be ecstatic if you were able to attend as well. So we'll make sure we get that to you, but it'll be somewhere, in the 5 weeks from now range.
Awesome. And since I have the mic, I might as well say congratulations. It's most certainly moving.
Thank you. Point of personal pride, it is by far one of the more moving things that we see when we're at those graduations, and understand that their families are there, that, the commitment that they made under circumstances that are, in some cases, not the best of circumstances, but the commitment they made, the ability to follow through, the pride that their family has for them, and the understanding of what this is going to mean, not just for them, but for their families, for their neighborhoods, for everybody they know. It is an amazing, amazing event. So, thank you.
Lindsay Payola, Chief Business Officer, and Frank DePizzo, Vice President of Facilities with Geodis Park. Good morning.
Good morning. As Chair Bender said, my name is Lindsay Payola, and I'm the Chief Business Officer at Nashville Soccer Club. I'm very happy to report that we had a huge win on Tuesday night on the U.S. Open Cup semifinals. So we are very excited. We moved to the finals in Austin on October 1st, so hopefully we'll bring home the first trophy for Nashville Soccer Club. So very exciting moment. And then we have a regular season match this Saturday in Orlando, which is a tough team, so we're rooting for another 3 points there. And then our next regular home season game is September 27th against the Houston Dynamo. We're getting to the end of the season, so it's getting tough and exciting at the same time. But I'm going to turn it to Frank DePizzo. He is our VP of Facility Operations for Geodis Park and Nashville Soccer Club. He's going to talk about some of our stadium initiatives.
Good morning, everybody. Excuse me. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Geodis Park. We're pleased that you're here. As Lindsay mentioned, we're going to talk a little bit about an initiative that we enacted this year. Every off season, we know Geodis Park is a great facility and people enjoy it, but every off season we want to look at some areas of improvement. And one of those areas we wanted to tackle was inclusivity. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the initiatives that we incorporated for this season. And hopefully it's something that we can all look forward to. So in conjunction with Major League Soccer, which has initiative of Soccer for All, we looked at some critical areas inside the building, and we identified 3 areas that we really wanted to make improvements on. So if you've come to a match, I'm sure most of you have been to a match. I won't ask you if you have been, but I'm sure most of you have been here. It's a fabulous time, but we want to make sure that there are no boundaries and there's no issues with anyone coming. So we identified 3 areas. One was a non-denominational prayer room. 2 was a mother spaces. There's actually a space there. And also culture city century room. So those 3 initiatives we enacted this season, and they're going on right now. These projects really reflect the diversity of Nashville. We all know Nashville's a growing city. There's a lot of diversity. It also aligns with the league initiatives, but also increases our fan engagement, which is we want everyone to have a great time when they come to the building, no matter if it's a soccer match or a concert or an event like we are here today. So I'm going to touch a little bit on each of these spaces just to give you an idea of kind of what they are. So non-denominational prayer room, we actually have it on our North Concourse. Again, as I talked about, very diverse population with growing population in Nashville. We wanted to make sure that we have an exclusivity for those folks and make sure that they feel comfortable when they come to matches. A lot of our matches throughout the year are during certain times of the year where people celebrate, so we wanted to make sure that they have that ability to do that. So again, we've installed that this year. It's been well received. As you can see, the gentleman posting on Instagram, enjoying the space and talking about how it's made that improvement across the board. The second area that I wanted to talk a little about is mother spaces. We've actually, in partnership with Vanderbilt Health, who's a great partner with us, we've installed 2 Mama pods, and that gives women the ability to take care of their needs during matches. Women are the largest demographic that's growing in sports with purchasing tickets, coming to matches, women and families. So again, we want to make sure that the fans that are coming to the matches or to concerts have that ability to do what they need to do, and there's not an interference in their lives on a day-to-day basis. So we're very proud of that. And again, big help from Vanderbilt Health as they helped us with that process and identified a company that builds those pods and actually labels them so people can take advantage of those. The last area that I wanted to talk about is the Culture City Sensory Room. If you're not familiar with Culture City, I would definitely Google it, look at it. It's a great organization. They're a 501c. They go all around the country and they help stadiums and facilities build sensory rooms. As we know, more and more what we're seeing is folks with those types of instances, we want to make sure they're comfortable at matches. From sensitivity to light or sound or different types of areas. Again, the families that have used these spaces give us tremendous feedback because, before they would not be able to take their son or their daughter to a match because things would happen and they'd have to leave. This gives them that opportunity to really let them enjoy the match and enjoy the games and enjoy any concerts. And it gives them a little small private space area so they can relax, kind of get themselves regular and get obviously back to match. We had the Mariah and Joel Smallbone are sponsoring that area with their help. They have a connection through some family members with some of those types of sensitivities. So they were very involved in this process and they really wanted to be at the forefront of that. So not only do we provide the space, but folks can also, they can get noise canceling headphones. They can get some of the pads, sensitivity pads for people to use. And again, this is something that all the new buildings across the country are incorporating. So we wanted to make sure that we are part of that process as well. So again, it's all about how we give accessibility to each and every person that comes to matches and make sure that there's really no obstacle when it comes to enjoying any experience here. It's all about the fan experience. It's all about how we can make sure that we're inclusive across the board. So I know I went through that fast. I apologize. I get excited because I'm very proud of the program and we're very proud of the program. So any questions about any of the subjects that I kind of went through?
Yes, Director Pulley?
I don't have a question. I just have a comment. As a father of a child who is disabled, this is pretty impressive to me. I didn't really realize this kind of stuff was going on. And through the years, we've had difficulty getting even United Cerebral Palsy to really be proactive in addressing the needs of people with those in different situations. So this is extremely impressive to me to hear this is going on.
Yeah, we're very proud of it. And again, this came from feedback from fans and from our attendees at any event. And we saw this as a way of, hey, we need to address this. And it's important to the organization, it's important to ownership, it's important to MLS. And you're seeing this across the board with a lot of stadiums. And again, we wanted to be at the forefront of that and be a pioneer of it. So, yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I also wanted to just add, we've been very supportive as the authority over the years, and this will go back to, a number of you were not on the board, but the Sports Authority and partnering with the Titans and the Sounds, and we had great conversations with the Predators. We've been talking about the Mamavas, and we have one that resides at Nissan Stadium and one that's at First Horizon Park. But the art was done by someone who was on staff with Nashville SC probably 9 years ago. So I think it's very exciting just to see that we continue to make progress in this area too. So thank you.
No, we appreciate it. And again, we're proud of this and hopefully we can spread this throughout the Nashville community. So.
Thank you. Yes.
Where's the pod located? It says concourse, back of the house?
Yeah,
What is it?
yeah.
What
So
is that?
actually, there's two of them. So we have the second one this year. There's one on the north concourse. So actually, if you were at the main team store, if you came right out the doors, there's one sitting there.
Okay.
And then we have one on the south concourse as well. So they're very visible. Again, with Vanderbilt's help, they've wrapped them with those type of messaging on them. So.
Any other questions or comments? If not, congratulations. I mean, when you said you had 3 initiatives, they're very impressive, and the fact that they're inclusive in this day and time is really important. So kudos to Geodis.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our last agenda item. This morning, we're excited to have Kyle Clayton, Chief Strategy Officer of Bridgestone Arena, here to give us an overview of their plans to transform the arena. Hello, Kyle. I didn't see you there, Sean. Good morning, Sean.
I brought a special guest today.
He made me come up. He said, Kathy wanted you up there, and then he ignored me, like old days.
Never.
Well, we appreciate the opportunity to come before you guys and talk through kind of the future of the arena, right? We've talked about this a lot. Probably a decade ago or so, we started talking about what this building could be, and we're really excited to kind of take that another step forward today as we kind of present our vision and kind of talk through our goals and our timeline as we're really in the early stages of this process. But we want to get in front of you guys, be transparent on the plan, and continue to move forward in that. So, flashback real quick, kind of go history lesson. If you remember, in the mid '90s, Broadway wasn't Broadway, right? It was somewhere you didn't want to be. The back door to the convention center was actually on Broadway. It was not a tourist destination. But Mayor Bredesen had this incredible vision to build this arena without a tenant and just create a piece of civic furniture that would just drive, activity downtown and bring people there to try to create a better space for business and tourism as well. It's funny, I was on a panel with Mark Bloom and Burt Matthews a couple weeks ago, and just their stories of what Broadway was in the early 90s and the investments they made. And it was just really incredible just to sit there and hear that history. And they both agreed that Bridgestone Arena and Mayor Bredesen's vision was the catalyst that kind of brought downtown to where it is today. So it's really cool that, we get to be part of that story and that process. And now how in 2025 and forward can we continue to bring downtown to life and continue that constant evolution to continue the great thing that we have going downtown as a city. When you look at the building today, and the way it was designed back in the mid-'90s, again, Broadway wasn't a great place to be, so it was built kind of like a fortress, right? There's a lot of concrete walls. The only glass really is what we're looking at here on the plaza. And so it was built similar to a fortress and a very introverted kind of personality where you're going to keep everything inside and keep the bad out. Our goal with that, we want to flip the script, right? At the end of the day now, Broadway's the place to be. It's so much fun, a lot of activity and energy, both inside the building and outside. So how can we mesh those two worlds together? So when we look at the photos here in a minute, the renderings, you'll see that there's a lot of glass, a lot of personality coming in and out, a lot of energy, and really just creating a destination for, obviously, our fans. We want to make sure they're having a better experience, but then also just bringing more people downtown and to our blocks, just trying to take advantage of that. One thing I want to hit on real quick before we get into the drawings is, how we're able to do that. When we partnered with you guys many times on our leases in the past, but especially in 2019, really allows us to do this in a proud way where we're not going to have any public debt or financing on this project. We're super excited about that. And again, the agreement that we were able to strike with you guys in 2019 really paved the path for us to be able to do that without, public taxpayer money going into this project from residents of Davidson County. So really the users of the building are the ones that'll fund this project as we move forward. From a price tag perspective, I'll go ahead and hit on that. There's a recent story that said the price has already gone up $100 million. If you look at the news, learn a lesson there. Be careful what you say when the media is in the room. But early on in this process, we've established a budget of, putting some field goal posts out there. Somewhere between $650 million, $750 million is kind of the area that we're looking for as we look through this project. And that's going to take care of, like I mentioned earlier, those capital improvements that were identified in last year's camp report, but then also a lot of the fun cosmetic things and premium spaces and bars and restaurants, concessions, all of those things as well. So not only will it be a lot of fun new opportunities, but also taking care of all the capital needs of the building as well. It's 30 years old, and we've put in roughly about $100 million over the last 12 years. So it's in great shape. The camp report last year, I think you remember Mark Farha, the CEO of CA Icon, said it was in the best condition of a 25-year-old building he's seen, which is something we're extremely proud of. But it's time to take it to the next level and to, again, be that catalyst for downtown. Play nice with our neighbors at 5th and Broad across the street, Convention Center, Country Music Hall of Fame, obviously Broadway. There's so much attention and traffic, and Nashville Yard's just down the street too. So again, Nashville's in a great place, and we just want to continue to be in the center of that. Anything you want to add? Perfect. If you go to the next slide, please.
Not yet, Kyle. And for the record, I always round it up to $1 billion. I don't know why we're stopped so short. So if you see that number, that's all me.
So as you look ahead at the rendering we have in front of you, again, this is where we want to talk about the personality of the building coming out to the streets. And there's a lot of things on the exterior to call your attention to. And I don't want to, again, miss the interior. Like we talked about the capital needs, all the amenities for our fans. That is the biggest goal within this project, is taking care of the folks that are using the building, the fans. But when you look at the exterior, some cool, fun things that we're able to take advantage of. Again, if you flash back to the mid-90s and how the building was constructed, along Broadway on the right side of your screen, if you think about it, there was a police station, there was a Register of Deeds office. If you'll remember, in the tower originally, there was a Papa John's, there was Wolfie's, it was a pizza restaurant in there. So again, some interesting uses of the building early on, and obviously our offices are there too. Probably not the best use of real estate on Broadway is to have 400 hockey employees in that space. So when you look at Broadway now, the idea is to take our concourses, all 4 levels, and bring them all the way out to the street corner to where those offices sit today. And that really allows us to expand our footprint, again, within our current block, but to create more amenities for our fans and better experiences across all 4 levels. So if you look on the right, you'll see those 4 levels coming all the way out to the street corner. Again, bars, restaurants, our team store, retail spaces, things like that. Very similar to what we've done on 5th Avenue right now with the BetMGM Sports Lounge, which currently exists, Pete and Terry's Tavern that's on Demumbrian as well. So again, just taking those concepts and that idea, bringing it to Broadway and just taking advantage of that real estate. But again, our goal is to bring more amenities to the fans of using the building, but then attract also more folks to the building 365 days a year so they can be subjected to our Smashville experience, want to come to the building, want to come to an event, and introduce them to obviously the game of hockey, but then also concerts as well. Also on the right side of the screen, you'll see a small tower there. The idea there, that's our offices. I mentioned we have 400 full-time employees. We're continuing to grow every single day. We're busting at the seams of where we're at right now. So the idea is we'll move off-site for a few years while this construction happens, but then it's a big goal to make sure that we're back on site. We take a ton of value in having our folks on site every day, being able to see the fans, see the building, be part of the process in all of our events. There's an incredible value there for our staff to be able to take advantage of that. So we want to make sure we get them back on site as soon as we can. When you look at the plaza, dead middle of the picture there, the spire as it exists today is great. It's a marquee architectural feature. It's part of our logo, but it's not the most functional space. So the idea is we will demo the existing tower, but then we'll redesign it in a way that's more usable and more friendly. So we'll pull it out to the corner there and make it our marquee signage piece. So we'll advertise, future events, but then inside of it also the thought is we could do some concert staging. So when we host, CMA Fest, Preds Plaza parties, SEC basketball, we had the bracketology show on Sunday this year after the SEC tournament. And again, rave reviews, and it was a huge show for downtown Nashville to be part of that national televised event. That could be on that stage as well. So again, just trying to figure out a better purpose for it, and we love the idea of this. What you can't see here, and hopefully we'll see in a video here in a second, is right behind that, where you have the Broadway new build. You'll have the arena on the left. There's actually an open air, we call it Bridgestone Boulevard currently, and it basically connects the 2 spaces, and it's an open air hallway essentially where there's vertical transportation to get you up to all levels of that right side for the bars and restaurants, but then on the left side, we'll have connectivity into the building. So again, it's kind of free-flowing, flexible space that really just kind of makes a cool connectivity between the new space and the existing arena. We'll move the entrance a little bit. It'll be a little bit more to the left than it is today, but you see where those glass walls are. Again, we want to make sure we have a great entry sequence for our fans so they can get in the building quickly and have a safe experience. This rendering doesn't show it, but Dan, we talked about bollards many, many times. There will be bollards on this plaza. Again, as we're thinking about the future of the building and safety and all the things that we've talked about, we'll make sure that we address a lot of those during this process as well. Again, a lot of signage opportunities. Again, a lot of cool branding pieces for us. Again, just trying to draw activity. Back left is probably the thing most people have the most questions about. We've studied the site many times about could we do a tower, right? Early on, we talked about it could be, I think Sean even said a bowling alley at one point, but hotel, condo, residences, all those different things. The point of this is to show what's capable and what could fit on this block. And so that's what the image shows there on your back left along Demonbreun. We're still in the midst of trying to figure out what makes the most sense. Again, our goal is to make sure that the fan experience is the best it can be. And if a hotel doesn't allow for that, then we won't move forward with a hotel, right? Like that's not a key component of this project, but if we can do it, that would be great. But at the end of the day, we want to make sure we're making the best experience possible for the fans. So it's in there as a possibility, but it's not a sure thing at this point.
Hey, before we hit the video, the one thing I want to reinforce that Kyle's touched on a few times, this is not a development project. This is an arena renovation project, and that's really, really important to remember. While we're doing that, we're going to take advantage of the opportunity to reconnect with, or to connect with Broadway, 5th, 6th, and Demonbreun. But this is about really making the building a little bit bigger, making it much, much more user-friendly, not just for our fans, but for our employees, performers, players, and our partners. This will allow us to get shows in and out a little bit faster, which will allow us to do a few more shows. It'll allow us to expand the footprint of the building by adding a press box, which we don't have right now. Attached to the press box, you'll have kind of a new standing room only area as well, which will free up about 300 or 400 seats and create 300 or 400 more seats, which is really important when you look at where we are. I think we're the second smallest or third smallest building in the NHL. So this will allow us to get a little bit bigger, which will allow us to maintain a fairly low entrance price, which is really important for us, for our core fans and future development of fans. And at the same time, for some of our bigger shows that are doing multiple runs, it'll allow us to sell another 800, 900 seats. So the additional seats makes us a little bit more attractive to a few more shows. The flexibility of the building, moving things in and out a lot faster, should add 3, 4, 5, 8 shows a year, and all those things really add up. At the same time, then we're going to round the edges off with a real true connection of the Broadway excitement touching the inside of the bowl touching Broadway and Demonbreun, and it's going to be incredible. It's 30 years old. People think it's only 5, 10 years old. We know where the age is here or there, because as we're talking about all these cool, fun things, we're also completely redoing all HVAC systems, all the ice systems, the floor, flipping the seats, 2 or 3 more times over the next 20 years, 2 or 3 new scoreboards in that same window. So this isn't a 3 or 4 or 5 year renovation project. This is a 20-year project. We're taking this right through the end of 2049. Ideally, in 2039, 2040, 2042, we're talking to whoever the mayor is then and saying, let's take this out through 2029 or 2099 or wherever it may be. This will allow us to have a building that at that time is, 60 years old, and it's still one of the most modern buildings in America, which is pretty incredible when it started with a $120 million investment, back in 1995. So we're excited about it. But again, as fun as it is to talk about all the new areas, this is really a core renovation project for the building. I think that's something that we get excited about. Everything else, we have to remind ourselves sometimes how important the core of the building is, and that's what this is about, and couldn't be more excited about it. Same time, I hate when a reporter asks me, well, gosh, when are you guys going to start? We've been talking about this since 2015, and it's true. We started this with Mayor Dean, talked to Mayor Barry, Mayor Briley, Mayor Cooper, and a young council member at the time in Mayor O'Connell now. And we actually started these renovations about 2.5 years ago when we started MGM, BetMGM Lounge, California Closets. We just renovated our entire locker room, kind of future-proofing it. So a lot of the work that we've done in the past 3 years is really looking towards the future of what this could be. So it's not like we're doing these things and wasting it. It started, and we should be proud of that. At the same time, the new drawings make it a little bit more exciting.
I just realized I have the clicker, so we can move ahead a little bit. So what I'll do pretty quickly here, just for the sake of time, go through each level by level, and just talk about some of the key features that we're looking into. Again, we're early in the schematic design process, so a lot of these things will change as we go. Walls will move, but the overall concepts will remain. So we'll start here in the event level. Again, this is below ground, so this is our kind of back of house area.
Hey, just to echo one thing, this will change. Like everything that's drawn there, may happen, may not happen, but it'll be tweaked quite a bit. And I'm saying that because there's a goofy reporter in the back that's going to say, oh my gosh, they had 20 new clubs. Julie, we might not have 20 new clubs.
That's why we're very specific to label them as concepts, right? Like we're not saying these are what's going to happen, but again, these are the idea. But some of the things we'll focus on, obviously, like Sean just mentioned, the Preds locker room. We've started that process already. Make them have one of the most marquee spaces in the NHL. Additional locker rooms, we've had initial conversations with the SEC to determine what their needs are as we move forward. Same thing with the CMA. Again, those are marquee events for us. We want to make sure that we're taking care of those core constituents in this process. Go ahead, Dan.
Before you continue, can you orient us? Is Broadway on the left?
Yep, sorry, absolutely. Broadway is on the right side. It's running up and down along the right, and then 6th Avenue is running across the top. So our plaza, entry plaza, is actually above this. Sorry, I'm pointing at this screen. You're looking at the other one. So the main thing I want to show you on this one was, if you look at the gold number 1 on the right side of the screen, that back wall there where the columns are, that is the edge of the existing Lexus Lounge today. So the interesting part is this area that I'm highlighting on the big screen between Lexus Lounge and Broadway, that's all earth today. So that's the big piece of this renovation, is going to be excavating that space out. It adds about 75,000 square feet to our event level. And being a 30-year-old building and be able to expand your event level is incredible for us. It's going to allow us to do so many things, whether it's, just talked about expanding the Preds locker room or adding locker rooms for SEC and amenities for CMA. It really just improves our entire back of house situation, whether it's the commissary for our food and beverage services, our storage, our MEP, all of those things really is going to allow us to be more efficient and gain that space. It's fantastic. Jump up a level real quick to main concourse again. Broadway's running along your right side. The idea is here, you'll see on the right side those Broadway extensions to kind of start coming into play. So on the right side, you've got potentially our new team store for Preds locker room. You've got kind of a food hall, new concept. So as part of all of this, we're looking at every concession stand and restroom in the building to make sure that they're all obviously refreshed, but then also expanded to additional areas. We obviously hate people standing in lines. We want to make sure that we increase those amenities so fans can spend more time in the bowl and less time waiting in line. So the ones and the twos, the orange and the blue, that's what those are. Those are all restrooms and concessions. They're all going to get updated. The bottom left, that's the corner of Demumbrian and 5th. That's where our rehearsal hall stands today. It served us well, and we're going to keep the event floor space for breakout space for, again, SEC, CMA. Tours will use it for hospitality. But on the street level there at that corner, imagine, again, BetMGM style restaurant where there's something on that corner too. Again, so much traffic coming across from the convention center, going to Broadway. We can capture those folks on our block, which would be fantastic. Jumping up a level here to our suite level. Again, looking at premium concepts. What else can we do? This level has a lot of suites. Sean mentioned the California Closet Studio is already there, which is great. So again, what can we do to this level just to upgrade that overall experience? On the far right, you'll start seeing some of these Broadway extensions being able to be added to these levels. So potential food and beverage opportunities on the suite level on the right.
Hey, just stopping there for a minute too, Kyle. You can see Broadway Boulevard come through a little bit more, coming from the main plaza right on through. All the vertical transportation can take you up to each deck, but it really creates this really neat openness, really connecting the development space to the inside arena. And then on the suite level right now, the area to the right where all the gold is, where that arrow's pointing up, that is all HVAC system. So the best part of the building facing the stage is not usable from a seating standpoint. So part of this is modernizing our HVAC system. That's why we're doing that, though, opening up this area. Again, make the building a little bit bigger, a little bit better, but then create new view corridors into the bowl facing the stage. So again, the building was designed really, really well 30 years ago, but you look back on that lens, and of course you can improve upon it. That area facing the stage might be the biggest level of improvement on the main concourse, upper concourse, suite level, and club level. So we're really excited about that. And so are our shows. We've talked to our promoters and agents and managers, and they see what we're doing, building a star compound and then building better usable seats. It's the future is really bright with those types of renovations.
Same story as you jump up a level here to the club level. A lot of the same things we talked about in each one. Call your attention to in these two sections here in the corners. These are our super column bombs, so there's a lot of space here. The thought is building out, I'm calling them porches, and it'll allow us to create a new hospitality area or possibly where our band stage is. Again, just creating some more flexible space. Like Sean said, trying to get our capacity up. There's two opportunities on this level to do that. Currently, our highest level, the Bud Light level, our 300 level, this is one of the areas I'm most excited about. It's one of our tightest concourses, and we have over 5,000 seats up there. So again, as we make the building bigger by extending those concourses to create that experience so much better for those fans. And then on the right side of the screen on Broadway, you know, our goal is to build the largest rooftop bar on Broadway, and that would tie into our 300 level, which would be fantastic for those fans up there. So super excited about that. And again, porches on this level as well that I just spoke about. Sean mentioned that we do not have a current press box. The seats in the 300 level currently serve as that. So looking at what other buildings have done recently, you look at Seattle, you look at Detroit, and they've hung a gondola from the steel in the ceiling. That's what we would look to do here. So in front of the 300 level seats up high would be this press box that we could build and add to this space. And also extend that to the south end zone and create, again, additional seating options to grow that capacity, but also just make a cool fan experience up there as well to take advantage of the space that exists today. I think I have a video next. I'm going to apologize. I don't know how choppy it's going to be. The file is massive, so we'll see how it runs, and hopefully we can maybe pause it and talk through it real quick. So we're coming from the river. We're going up Broadway, heading west, and so the Bridgestone Arena will show up here on your left in just a second. And we'll get to the point here where we're flying over Tootsie's and the Ryman, and we're headed towards the plaza. And what this video will show you here in a second, which is great, is you'll zoom in on that Bridgestone Boulevard that we were talking about, where it connects the building and this kind of Bridgestone or Broadway extension of those concourses as we fly in. So you can kind of start to see that as we're coming into view here. On the right side, again, you got all four levels of the building extending out to the concourse or to the Broadway. I don't know if I can pause it, guys. If you could pause it, I don't want to mess this up. And if you could pause it right there, that'd be great. Yep, so here you can kind of see what we were talking about where, again, it's open air. It'll be open 365 days a year. On the left side, you obviously have the arena entrances. On the right side, you have access to all four levels of the building. So those will be accessible during the day as well, also during the event. So if we could push play again. Awesome, thank you. Here we'll zoom out a little bit over the plaza. Again, we'll cover the plaza to allow us to use it 365 days a year. I have to worry about the elements as much when we do our plaza parties, CMA, SEC, all those things, which is always interesting when you battle the weather. As we're going down Fifth right now, that's all concrete walls, opening that up with a lot of glass, a lot of windows, balconies, things of that nature. A new entry point right here on Fifth Avenue, right across from the park. The goal here would be just an expedited entry point if you're coming to the building. You want to jump right in. And then here on the corner of Demumbrian and Fifth, again, I mentioned adding possibly a restaurant on the main concourse and suite level, and then above that, potentially a tower if that's what comes to fruition. But really just populating that corner, whereas today it's two large concrete walls. And that's it for the video. So again, I think as we talk through, our goal and our vision as we go forward, we want to make the fan experience better. That is a number one in the whole thing. The folks that are coming to our building, our biggest fans, Smashville loyal, concert goers, we want to make sure that they have a better experience throughout this entire process. And then if we can add additional amenities to bring folks downtown, introduce them to the sport, introduce them to the arena, that's where we want to be. And again, just being a good steward of this incredible asset that we have. You can't build an arena in a better location, so we want to make sure we take care of this one and extend it even further. We're here through 2049 at a minimum right now, like Sean mentioned. We have no reason to not look even further than that, so that's why we're super excited about this renovation as we look ahead in the future.
Again, really just want to thank the current board for putting us in the position to be able to do this. And then you look back over some history, we redid the lease, I think in 07 or 08 when the team almost left. If not for the vision of this board, the team probably wouldn't be here anymore. I'm grateful, so are my kids, that we're still here. And then we redid the lease again in 2012 to take a lot of burden off of the city, build some incentives, new ways to recruit new events. Obviously paid off. We're one of the busiest buildings in the world, year in and year out. And then what you all did with us, and Monica played a key role in this, in 2019, when we completely redid the lease, took it out 30 more years and said, you know what, we don't need anything from the general fund. We don't need anything, from city coffers or the state coffers. Let's just turn to the users of the building. The busier we are, the more we can do, the busier we're going to be. And I don't know why you guys signed off on it. I don't know why we did. But when you look back on it now, it's absolutely incredible where we're sitting today because of your vision. So really just want to say thank you. Again, the original investment by Mayor Bredesen, it was silly, it was dumb, it was his folly. No one believed in it except for him, and thank goodness he did, because it really changed the future of Nashville. And again, you look at what he and mayors following him have done, with the baseball stadium, with Nissan Stadium, with the new Nissan Stadium, with us, with the soccer stadium. It's invested that civic furniture, like Kyle talked about, in different parts of the city, and look what's boomed around it. I was just in Bellevue this morning, same thing, civic furniture out there in Antioch. It is amazing what he put in play back in 1994, and I can't wait to be sitting on the sidelines cheering on someone else in 2045, talking about the next 50 years. I plan on being around, just not in my office. So.
All right.
Any questions?
Yes, we have a couple. I will start with Director Atkins.
Thank you. Thank you. Talking about events, last year was 140 events that you all hosted?
Yeah, roughly.
140 days, I think, yeah.
Yeah. So how is that tracking this year? And then how do you, obviously, with the construction of the transformation and shutting down the building for a couple of months, we understand it's the users who are paying for all this. So how are you guys planning around that?
Yeah, so what we'll do is when we're done playing hockey, which ideally is in June each year, for all the good reasons, but whenever we're done with hockey, we will literally shut the building down and then reopen it roughly September 1st. Our hockey season might start a week earlier than usual moving forward, so we might play with that. But you're looking at probably losing 8 to 12 weeks a summer for programmable windows. David Kales, who books our buildings, done just an incredible job over the past 12, 13 years. He's working with every agent manager right now, looking at our building, which is starting to become more of a must play. You can't skip Nashville, as you see with all the events going on in this building and Nissan Stadium too, to when we're routing shows in 28, 29, even 30, make sure that we're planning on Nashville in the spring or the fall, not July and August. We'll end up losing a handful of shows though, no doubt about that. But ideally it's in that 4 to 8, concert range. Everything's a little bit cyclical, but we have enough sway now where we're such an important city on a tour that we'll try to push some shows into a different scheduling cycle. So that's what the plan is. But there will be a reduction, for a 3 or 4 year period of time. Ideally, we'll make that up on the other side.
Director Holmes-Jones.
Good morning, y'all. I love the I'm assuming that's going to be advertising, or is this going to be static? I'm just interested in the vision of the lighting underbelly, because now that's Vegas, basically, on Broadway a little bit with the lights. Love it. I was curious, what is it? It's going to be moving? Are you considering it's going to be moving?
Yeah, it's going to be a mixture of static and movement.
Yeah.
Obviously for branding, some cool things, and you picture Sabrina Carpenter show when it comes on in. It's all those graphics. When an on sale goes on, it flips it around. SEC, there'll be some advertising as well, but for the most part, it's promoting citywide events and then our own internal events too. But it's going to be cool. But again, a good mixture of static and motion.
Static and motion.
Yeah.
Okay, that's curious. Thank you.
I'm glad you brought up Vegas. I never bring up Times Square or Vegas, but picture both of those in a better organized fashion. It's going to be awesome. Fremont Street without the dirt.
I think one thing to call out there too is, as part of this whole design process, the instruction we've given our architects is we want to be Nashville authentic, right? Like we're going to take inspiration from other places. At the end of the day, we don't want to stick out, right? Like we want to be a good neighbor at the end of the day, taking some cues from the convention center and their materials, taking some cues from Fifth and Broad across the street, which is so successful and great, right? Like we want to fit in the neighborhood, but obviously be Smashville and be a little bit different. But at the end of the day, our ultimate goal was Nashville authentic.
Great. Director Pulley?
Thank you, Madam Chair, you may have answered, I've got a couple of quick questions here. You may have already answered them, but you'll have to forgive me because when I heard how much this was cost, and as a frequent user of the venue, when you told me I was going to pay for it, I choked on that for a while and might not have heard some of these things. So,
You sound like our owners.
yeah. Oh, it'd be nice. You mentioned when you talked about you didn't think this was the best use of space, this area on Broadway for a staff of 400. Where are they going to be?
So ideally, if we end up building on the top right-hand corner, a small office tower, we may end up in there. That tower might be repurposed into something else if it exists in the final drawings. If it's not there, it'll be on 5th and Demonbreun, incorporated into everything else, expanded meeting rooms, that sort of thing. For us, it's really, really important from a culture standpoint for every one of our employees, hockey operations, business operations, arena operations, to be in the building. A lot of teams don't have that benefit. I know when we benchmark across our league and the NBA, very similar structures, the teams that office in their buildings, just different things happen, a different spirit, better partnership. When you look at the SEC, if Greg Sankey were here, he would tell you the reason they locked in for multiple years here, now through 2035, it was because all of our employees were in the building all the time, helping on a lot of different fronts. So we're going to be in that building. Plus, I don't like to commute that far, so I'm a little lazy.
Thank you. And it's one more quick question is, this is really impressive, and I appreciate you addressing how you plan on arriving here by shutting down for 6 to 8 weeks or 8 to 12 weeks in the summer, and addressing these things by giving up a couple. Can you give me some rough timeline of how long it will take you to get to what I see right here?
So ignore the hotel or the tower on the left-hand side for a minute. Everything that we're looking at now, the shininess, the new popping out through Broadway, Demonbreun, and then the core renovation of the venue will be done for opening day of 2030. I always look at him when I say a number because he sweats.
I was hoping he didn't move it up, so it's
And we might move it up, but 2030. With that said, there's another 20 years of renovations that follow that. I mean, we've always had the mindset that every year you renovate the building, so 20 years later, you're not sitting there with a building that looks 50 years old and you need to replace it. So, but the core of what you're seeing is 2030. That back tower, if we move forward with that, probably gets delayed 6 months to a year. What's nice about the Broadway space and the different towers, that construction can happen all year round. It's the core renovation of the building that causes us to shut down. St. Louis, a few years ago, they did a 3-year renovation of their building. It's a year or two older than ours. You need to shut down in the summer because literally we'll take out the arena floor, redo all the ice making equipment underneath that, and then re-pour it. When you redo the seats, you need to do those things. So, but 2030 is the bulk of it.
Thank you for that. And again, this is super impressive. And for the record, I am more than happy to pay my share of these renovations.
We know it, and we love seeing you at the games. I wish our record was better when you were there, though, so
Yeah,
it's a big year on you.
Well, you should talk to Lindsay. I've been to 2 of these games and they scored 12 goals. I don't know why I don't have the same effect on a hockey team.
Well, let's rub your belly a little more, man. We need some luck this year.
Okay, Director Deering.
Yes, during all this planning for this rebuild, y'all still have in your mind about a WNBA team in Nashville?
Well, we have in mind for a WNBA team for Nashville. Unfortunately, the WNBA didn't have in mind for Nashville.
I know.
But part of the future-proofing of the event level is a space for a secondary locker room for a second tenant in the building and then a visiting team. So we are prepared to continue to look forward to what else can we bring to the building. And ideally, the other leagues realize how special Nashville is, like the NFL does and MLS does and NHL does and minor league baseball does.
Well, that's good. Let's don't give up on that idea.
We're not. Remind them, though. Okay.
Or WNBA, perhaps? Okay. Director Atkins.
That really was piggyback on my question of, was it 400 additional seats in the lower bowl under the new transformation? Is that right?
No, total in the building, our goal is to add between 600 and 800 seats, kind of fine tuning that now. How that ends up being created up and down really depends on what we do in those end zones, because you pick up a fair amount of seating on each level, and the majority of the seats will be added in the upper bowl with that add-on of the deck. So total between 600 and 800 incremental seats is what the goal is.
And I assume that's also helpful for a future WNBA potential bid too, because I can't remember what we track. What is it, like 18,500 current?
For basketball, we're just over 18.5, hockey a little bit less than that, which puts us right in the proper hunt. I mean,
It's around
this city wasn't selected for reasons I don't know, but it had nothing to do with the venue. Being we're the first of the expansion bids, we were one of the first ones to put in the main building in the city as the main building. So it's WNBA ready. With all due respect to WNBA, this is about Nashville, Bridgestone Arena, and the NHL capabilities. And anyone that knows what Nashville is knows that this would be the best facility for any other league to expand into.
Thank you. Only other comment was, I think it was last month was it Broadway Block Party, women's volleyball?
It was an awesome triple header.
Yes. I just want to commend you guys for all that you're doing for women's sports and not just hockey and entertainment, so.
That was a fun one too, because it launched Vanderbilt's volleyball program and then brought in the best teams in the country. When we booked that, we all thought, if we can get to 8,000 or 9,000, that'd be incredible. And you had a sold-out event for 3 different volleyball games. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, we're not sleeping on any ability to do new sports, especially women's sports and focus. And ideally, other leagues see this as the place to be. From the female hockey to the WNBA, this is where an expansion team should be.
Great. So, any other questions? If not, okay, Monica, yes.
Just, and this really is for you all. I mean, this is an exciting journey that we're getting ready, I think, to embark on. And there's going to be a lot of conversations in these meetings. And one of the things that we want to make sure that we do is also have Josh and Metro Legal come in and discuss what are the legal considerations. Because as we talk about material alterations to the building, there's some things that we're going to need to discuss too. So we will, at the right time, have our attorneys come back and just kind of advise us on just things that we need to be considering as we start this process.
Perfect. Lots of moving parts. We are totally excited. So thank you all for that report this morning.
Thank you all.
And Sean, it's great to see you.
It's great to be seen.
So this concludes our agenda. We'd like to thank the Finance Committee for meeting this morning, the board staff, and all of our partners and presenters. Our next meeting will be Thursday, October 23rd. We're pushing it back 1 week in order to accommodate fall break, which will affect many of you. So the meeting on the 23rd will be at First Horizon Park, and the Finance Committee will meet prior to that meeting. At this time, if there are no other comments, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information on this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.